Nolan with Black Diamond Services. So I am out at a house that has already been professionally cleaned from what the owner says. Was a rental, and so basically, as soon as you walk in the house, you can still smell pet odor in this room here, and then this front room space here. This carpet is a year old, from what the owner said, and basically, somebody snuck a pet in here. And said they did not. But as soon as you walk in the house, you can smell the odor. There is actually a ton of carpet in this house, but as soon as you get into the hallway, and allegedly the bedrooms were closed off, there is 4 bedrooms, and you can't really smell anything. But as soon as you get back out here, you can smell the odor. Now, it looks like the carpet's clean, but I'm going to go through all the steps again to make sure that there is no odor in this house. So it is super hot today. It's supposed to be like 111. It is the middle of July as the filming of this video. And so it's going to dry out really well and really easily. But the problem is here, whoever was out here did not look for pet stains or did not ask questions to basically see what the job really needed. So it may not have smelt when they cleaned it, but I'm sure shortly after they did, when they left, the odor started to flare up. And other issues you can run into, especially when there's pet stains, if they did not treat them. If you leave your house closed up, especially a rental property like this, because it's going to be closed, nobody's coming in or out, there's no way for that odor to get out of the house. So I would say it would be a thing throughout, but as soon as you walk down that hallway, you can't smell it anymore. So it's definitely still in the carpet when it comes to pet urine. So I'm going to go through all the steps: the vacuuming, pre-spray, CRB, rinsing and extracting, and I'm going to be applying using a topical deodorizing agent too in my rinse tank to help freshen the carpet up some. I didn't find any stains really under UV, so I think there's just a lingering odor that was not dealt with before the previous cleaners left. So I'm going to go through that step and get this place cleaned up for this guy. He's used us before, but the tenants or his property management used somebody else, and they, I'm guessing, didn't see their process, didn't go through all the steps, because otherwise this odor, from what I can smell, should not be here still, because it's not aggressive, but it is a lingering odor. So I just don't think maybe they used a UV light and looked around for any staining or anything like that, or they just didn't use proper chemistry. So that's where it's very important when it comes to carpet clean to qualify the job before you start it. Because if you go in blindly and you just start pre-spraying and rinsing it out, and because it only looks like general soil, you're most likely going to do the client a disservice. You're not going to get it cleaned properly, and you're going to have issues, and then that doesn't help get you repeat business. This guy has multiple rentals, and is now going to put our name in the property management's ear, plus potentially put it so where when somebody rents the house, they have to call us to get it cleaned, so he knows what level of quality he's getting. Because the issue here is, if somebody moves out or you sell the house, I understand, you don't want to pay a ton of money to get it cleaned, but at the same time, if you pay a cheap amount to get something cleaned up and it smells in the house, you're going to have to pay again to get it cleaned. So you might as well do it the right way the first time and find somebody that is trusted and understands the different chemistry that needs to be used to get it done. So it kind of looks like this right here and that right there might be what some of the issue is, because this carpet was cleaned, but it seems to be like it looks like something came back to the surface a little bit. So I got to treat those areas and extract everything back out again. Okay, since this was just recently cleaned, I'm going through all the cleaning steps again. Empty vacuum canister. Let's find out if I get more stuff out. Going through all these steps will also help me understand if the other company went through them themselves. Because nobody's been in this house outside of showing me around. So there could potentially be pet urine in this area. And you can see the baseboard is swelled. Most cases that I run into, that's usually because of a male dog or a cat peeing on it. And the acids in the urine tend to swell the baseboards. Very large living room. Almost had to plug in somewhere else because of how big it is. Just this room and the front room is all I'm doing because this is where the odor is lingering. It's 720 square feet. And there's what I got already. So it looks like I'm picking up pet dander. So this tells me most likely they did not vacuum and they did not run a CRB. So when that happens, especially even if it's just dog odor, like if you have a larger dog, the oils from their skin and the dander is going to leave an odor in the house. And if you don't vacuum, use some citrus and run a CRB, there's a good chance you're going to be leaving this odor behind. And you're not going to get any callbacks wanting your service again. You got to identify these issues whenever we go to a job. If I see a larger dog in the house, I automatically will add some citrus. If I see everybody in the house is walking barefoot, I add some citrus because we are naturally oily too. So if everybody walks barefoot in the house, the carpet's going to have some oils in it. Just like the headrest of your furniture, especially if you have microfiber, you'll notice
that it's darker there. And really the only way I'm able to get that to come out easily is using a product that's called Citrusol. It breaks the oily bonds, because if you're just cleaning with a regular cleaning agent, it's going to take longer because it's not breaking the oil bonds from whatever it is it's on. But yeah, this is just one of the rooms, and look at all that stuff. It's crazy.
Okay, so now I've got myself some other questions, and I explained it to the homeowner, but he said that the tenant did not use these rooms. So there's 3 extra rooms. He wants me to do the master bedroom in the hallway, so I misunderstood that, so I already added that on. But here's the thing. After vacuuming this room here and getting a full canister, it had me questioning these rooms. And if I go through and clean the master hallway and these 2 rooms, this one here and the one up front, and it still smells in the house, now it's my problem, right? So these are things you got to start questioning and asking. Do I need to do these rooms, and how do you figure that out? Well, being that I got a full canister, and as you can see I emptied it out in the living room alone, I am now going to, I told him I would not charge him for this. Obviously it's just vacuuming, but I am going to vacuum one of these rooms, and if I get a bunch of stuff in my canister, then I'm going to call him and be like, hey, it looks like these rooms are the same idea. I'm getting a lot of stuff out. I don't think these rooms were thoroughly cleaned, even though they don't look bad. I still want to be sure, because if I leave this house and it still smells, it is my issue now, and now I got to come back and deal with it, right? So why not do it while you're already here?
Empty canister. I'm going to go through one room just to see. And these were allegedly done, right? So I shouldn't really get much of anything. I mean, if I get a little bit, okay, understood. You know, no big deal. But if I get a bunch, then that means, you know, there's still dirt, there's still pet dander. Going through the steps and professionally cleaning it will make sense to the client. So, and I took a picture of the other one and I made it so you could tell that it was a specific area in the house. And I'm going to do the same in here too, so that way there's no you know, deception or anything like that. So we want to be honest and do the right thing. So I will take a picture of this canister in a position in this house to where it shows that it is in fact one of the bedrooms. That's being as fair and honest as you can, because I don't want to charge for something that doesn't need to be done, right? But I need proof. And the only way I could do that is by taking some photo evidence in such a way that makes it clear that, you know, this was needed in this room. I'm sorry this is a talking video, but it's kind of important when you run into these situations. This may help another cleaner out on something that maybe they haven't thought about. You know, and it can be frustrating when you know you went through all the right steps and somebody said don't worry about these rooms, and then they come into the house and the house smells. So that's a problem, and you don't want it to become your problem. So you got to consider these things when a client gives you information about the job, and that's, you know, what they were told from the previous tenant or cleaners, whatever it may be. You just don't want to make somebody else's problem yours. So you got to be the professional and give them all the information you can. Alright. So let's take a look at what we got here. Oh yeah. So we still got stuff in the carpet. This is just the one room. As you guys saw, it's now 5 minutes of video time in just this room. So I'm not messing around and making a you know, exaggerated claim. So I'm gonna present this, I'm gonna send this picture that I'm gonna take to my client and let him decide what he wants me to do. If he wants me to add the rooms on, or if not. Alright, so I'm gonna be repeating the process with this room. Just one more to confirm that these 3 extra bedrooms are gonna need to be cleaned as well, because these were supposedly closed off, right? And they were supposedly professionally cleaned. And as you saw, my canister was empty. So I told the guy, we want to do, you know, we want to do right here. So I've been taking pictures and obviously videoing this, so that way I'm not coming in here and just trying to, you know, get a bigger job and be dishonest. The thing is, if this was vacuumed and CRB'd, I should not be getting this much stuff out. Now granted, you can still get stuff out after a very thorough cleaning. I am not saying that's not the case. It definitely can happen. But a 10 by 11 room, including the closet, I shouldn't be getting half a canister of stuff when it was just done. So that's what I'm trying to establish here for the guy, so he doesn't, you know, get stuck with an issue and then not be able to rent his house out as quickly, because, you know, I would have to come back and do the rooms. Because if somebody comes in after they've, you know, signed a lease agreement, now he's stuck with getting it cleaned again and having to either wait to get somebody in here or lose that person because they're like, no, I don't want to live here, the house stinks. So, like I said, I'm trying to take precautions and steps here to not make something my problem. Even though I've done business with this guy a couple times before, I'm not worried about him. It's just, you want to make sure you're doing right by your client, whether they are the tenant or the owner. So if I've had many tenants, you know, call and use our services, and I give them all necessary information so we can do a good job, so they can leave it, you know, nice as it was when they got it. Hopefully they got it nice as well. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But a lot of times property management uses the cheapest, you know, because they're trying to keep costs down for the owner, which is understandable, but that ends up with getting a lot of you get what you pay for scenarios. So I just want to make sure we do the correct thing for everybody involved. Alright, so this one's not as bad, but as soon as I get out of the room, I'm going to take a closer look at the canister and see if there's pet hair in here, because allegedly these doors were closed the whole time whoever else was living here. They only use the front 2 rooms in the master bedroom, and of course the hallway. So, I'm just gonna get this door line here, and then I'm gonna stop. All right. So, yes, there is stuff in here. You can see. But I'll inspect it a little closer to see if it is pet hair or if it's just human hair. But it is dirty. So for purposes of transparency, this is the 3rd spare bedroom. There's the 1st and 2nd one that I did with the canister. So I did not empty this before I came to this room because there was still room in this canister, and I don't know, I kind of had a feeling this one wouldn't be bad, and it wasn't. I mean, there was just a pinch in there. It didn't really make a difference from the other room I did that got majority of this. So this room's not bad, but the true teller of the story is going to be the CRB if I get any kick out. I have not done the master bedroom. As you can see, there's footprints all over it, so I have not vacuumed this area, and there's a closet in there. And obviously I haven't done the hallway here. So I'm going to empty this so it's clear so I could see what's in the master bedroom now. All right, empty canister, master closet space. As you can see, I am in the bathroom here. So let's find out if there's anything lingering in this room. Because the master was the only room that allegedly got used. But the biggest problem here is this was cleaned by a company already. But this job is like the absolute teller that vacuuming and running a CRB should be standard practice in your cleaning methods. There are some cases where you may be able to not worry about it, but our business model has always been do it all, go through all the steps. Probably 6 jobs in my, let's see, got my first van in 2018. It's 2024, July right now. There's been maybe 5-6 jobs, roughly, where I probably could have skipped CRBing and been okay, and no issues, and it would have came out just fine, clean. And it's a situation where there's no pets in the house. It's pretty much always been those. No pets in the house. And maybe 2 adults at most. So, not very common. Sure, it's very little, but there is stuff in there. So now, let's finish out the master bedroom. And see what we get. This video is, I understand, it's probably going to get clicked off quite a bit. But it's for informational purposes. For those that like learning, and for those that may be cleaners and just haven't really thought about this. And why, you know, they cleaned a carpet and maybe didn't do a room or 2. And then they get a call back saying, hey, it still stinks in the house. What happened, you know? So when you're doing only a partial job and it's per request, you got to make sure you note that stuff. You know, hey, client states there's an odor in the house, but it's only the master bedroom, hallway, living room, that's being done, but there's still 3 other rooms like this one. So if I leave and don't do these other rooms, I better document that I didn't do them and that there's a risk that the odor still may be lingering in the carpet in the rooms that I didn't do. And therefore, when the house is closed up, being that it's empty right now, odor may flare up and make the house stink again. Because if there's urine in the carpet, urine off gases when it's hot, and it's incredibly hot right now. We have a full week of basically around 103 to 111 weather. So if there's urine in the carpets, it's gonna off gas. Or if you're cleaning the carpet and you don't use the right chemistry, pretty much you're always using hot water extraction, right? So you're gonna get odor from hot water extracting it, and you may not notice it right away because your regular cleaning agents maybe have a light scent to them that's pleasant, but once it dries out, it's probably going to start to stink, and then now it's your problem. So you got to qualify these jobs. I even came in here, I didn't video it because, well, the carpet is bone dry. I used the moisture meter and poked around in the rooms that you could smell the odor in, just to see if there was, you know, if this was super recent and a dog had peed in here. You know, whether it was before or after the carpets were professionally cleaned. And the moisture meter didn't go off, so I didn't bother recording that because it's, you know, wasn't gonna tell us anything that was worth having on video. This is going to be a very lengthy video. So, for those that are interested in seeing and learning, I appreciate you if you've made it this far in the video. So right now I'm probably at like 20 minutes of vacuuming alone. I'm gonna have to make some room on my phone to even finish this video. But I am trying to be as transparent, sorry, just trying to think of the word, as possible here. Alright, so here's what came out of the master bedroom. So there is definitely, it's hard to tell in this video, there's definitely, sorry it's going out of focus, there's definitely hair in there. The canister's a little cloudy so it's kind of hard to tell, but there's definitely a decent amount of stuff left behind. I mean, it says max fill. I mean, this thing will still fill up to the top here if you let it, but technically this is max fill and I'm above it a little bit. So there was some stuff in this carpet, so this room is definitely worth doing. Alright, empty canister now for the hallway. Then after this, I just have the front room to do. So this went from being 720 square feet of carpet to clean to right over 1,500. So we just over doubled the amount of carpet that needed to be cleaned by doing some inspecting and doing right by the client and making sure that we're not going to leave odor behind because we skipped rooms. So this room here was definitely the least amount. But the other spare bedrooms is a half a canister with the stuff each, give or take a little bit. This is a lot of carpet to clean, so I can understand, you know, especially in these days, everything's expensive, and cutting costs are kind of in the forefront of your mind. So, if whoever cleaned this only maybe pre-sprayed and rinsed it out, that's a huge reason of why I'm able to pick up so much stuff with just a vacuum. But it has created a problem now. So somebody's having to pay twice because of it, which is unfortunate. You know, if the client isn't informed of this stuff, or the tenant even, by the company, then there's an issue there too. So all this stuff has to be gone over, because now they have a problem, and so does the owner of the house. And it's unfortunate that that's the biggest reason why all these steps need to be gone through, because I understand you're not going to get everything out, but I shouldn't be getting this much stuff out. So again, I'd say it's, you know, about 30% full, because the other side's kind of bare. See, if going off based off the max fill line that the vacuum says, which is right there, but the camera's not wanting to focus. There we go. So not a ton. The hallway is about 125 square feet of space, so I did get stuff out, so it was definitely needed. But now all I have left is the front room up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my vacuum over to that space. This is one of the rooms that allegedly was used, so I think I'll definitely fill or pull more stuff out, and I'm gonna go ahead and empty the canister and go through the steps again. Empty canister, front room carpet. This is one of the rooms, just to go back over it, that does have an odor in it. So no matter what happens with those other rooms, this is one that would have been done regardless, because you can smell it as soon as you walk into the house, and you smelled it in the living room, the other large room. So we would have been needing to do these areas as well. This tile kind of looks like it needs to be done. It's passable from what I can tell, but probably not. If I was to test clean it, we'd probably see a change, but Seems to be some stuff in the carpet still. I don't know if you can hear it, but some things passing through. It's crazy, as my first initial thoughts when I saw this is like, oh, it doesn't look dirty. It just stinks, you know, a little bit in these two rooms. These need to be cleaned and that's it. But then I vacuumed that first room and I was kind of shocked. And that's what led me to questioning the rest of the work. So go with your gut if you're a cleaner and you feel like something's not right. Sounds like there's a little bead in the carpet. I'm gonna have to make room on my phone. Literally, all this vacuuming footage and talking is taking up just about 100% of the space on my phone that I had left. Surprisingly, this may be the least bad room as far as hair and stuff that I'm pulling out. Unless I just can't tell because it's stuck at the top.
Okay. So, definitely stuff in there. Definitely hair in there. But it looks like it was equivalent to one of those small bedrooms. Surprisingly, they weren't used, but I pulled just as much out of, I think, the first two bedrooms as I did the master bedroom and this room. So I allegedly think that this is the most used room because it is, yes, it is the largest one, but I did get a full canister basically out of it, so to be expected. But yeah, this one definitely got stuff out. And you can tell I vacuumed it. So here's my trash bucket. You can see it's quite a bit between all the rooms, and that's definitely a lot of pet hair. So yeah, it definitely needed it. Alright, time for the CRB. So I'm starting in the living room, and I'm gonna work my way back to the master bedroom, and then I am going to finish out the front room last because I feel like I am going to have dried out pre-spray before I can get to it. Let me switch hands here. Alright. Sorry about that. Do a little left-handed. So what are your thoughts if you've made it this far in the video? Do you think you're going to see any kick out?
or did one cleaning plus all the vacuuming I did get everything out. I'm going to be surprised if I do get some kick out, considering the situation. I feel like that shouldn't happen at this point, but I don't know if I'll be surprised if it does. But there's some more swelled baseboards over there. So here's the other issue. Here's another learning experience for those that haven't thought of this. If you got swelled baseboards due to pet urine, you may need to replace your tack strips too in that area that hold the carpet down, because it's exposed wood that the tacks are in, meaning the urine can soak into it. You can have your carpet cleaned professionally and have odor still show up if it's bad. So that is, of course, if it is bad. If it isn't, then it's not going to be a problem. We've had or seen those areas look like a problem and have not been. But I always let the client know. So if odor still is present, there's a good chance it is in the tack strips as well. This is something I never would have thought of or known about, because I don't do flooring installation, until I ran into it years and years ago. A house that we started out as a house clean business, and I discovered that they were changing the carpets out because excessive pet urine at this rental. So we told the property manager, hey, we suggest you make sure that whoever's installing the carpets puts new tack strips in, because you have a lot of pet urine here. If they don't, it may still smell like odor in there, and the flooring installer didn't change the tack strips out, so they have brand new carpet with pet urine underneath still. So depending on your subfloor, you can have other issues with it too. If it's bad, it could be in your pad, it could be in your subfloor, which is either wood, again, exposed wood, or concrete, which is very absorbent. So if that's the case, your subfloor needs to be treated before you put new flooring. Otherwise, you're going to be living with that odor that may, like I said earlier, flare up during the warmer months. So if you're changing your flooring out because of a pet issue, or you're purchasing a house and knowingly wanting to change the flooring out, whatever the case may be, take that into consideration. Look into getting the moisture barrier padding if you're keeping carpet. That way, the only way your flooring can be affected is if it is in the corners up by the baseboards, because the padding doesn't go all the way there. So it's less likely that you'll get issues. This job and video obviously has been 100% meant for learning, hopefully, something. I know most people watch these videos for the sounds and to see something clean. And obviously, before and after photos in this job really aren't necessary, because you're not going to see much of the difference. So don't expect to see before and afters really, because from what it looked like before it got walked on to what it's going to look like after I'm done. It's not going to have that significant of an appearance change. It may look a little bit better, but nothing super satisfying. It's just the knowing now what type of care has been given to it and what it's going to be given to the next tenant. That's the satisfying part. Knowing that it's clean and been taken care of. Alright. I'm about back to my starting point here. So there's what it looks like just CRB'd. Like, I mean, it looks so dang good. You can kind of say, oh, it looks like the carpet's been is clean, you're almost done, but I gotta rinse all this stuff out because I've got citrus in here like I spoke about earlier. And that and the pet product that I boosted in here with it, because there's only a little bit of an odor lingering in about half of the house. So that stuff has to be rinsed out. So the products I'm using, I'm using BioPro 10K, which is an enzyme-based pre-spray. It does have some citrus in it. And then I am also boosted a decent amount with Pure O2, which is an organic stain remover. This one also has some citrus in it. Considering this isn't horrible, it's just in need of getting the odor out. That's what I'm using. And then I believe I mentioned it earlier, but I am also using a citrus scented deodorizer that can be put in my rinse tank. So that's what I did there. This will help freshen the house up, and now it'll just distribute it throughout the entire cleaned space. And if I still notice a lingering odor, then I'm going to topically spray it and rake the carpet. But a lot of times it's not necessary. If it's really bad, then I do it, regardless if I think it's necessary or not. But I would say this is kind of between mild and moderate. Because it's not overbearing, but you could definitely smell it as you walk in the house. So now we're at 1507, I think was the square footage. This house is 2,600-ish square feet, he said. Just feels like a large house, the way it's set up. The ceilings in the living room and the entryway are kind of high, and then they're quite open rooms, as you can tell. So it gives this house a big feeling, open feeling, which I like. All rooms have been CRB'd. Just finished this front one. It looks great. It looks like I already did all the cleaning, but I still got to rinse this out. No kick out, so not surprised actually, really. I should not have gotten kick out considering the situation. But I'm going to check under the CRB brushes and see what is in there that just maybe didn't fall out. Hopefully next to nothing. Alright, hopefully the sun's not too overbearing, but there is stuff here. Ooh, there we go. It didn't really stick on the brushes, but it did get stuck in there. So, all this stuff here was still in the carpet. I mean, I would consider this pretty minimal, but still, had this been vacuumed and CRB'd the first time, we wouldn't be dealing with this. So I gotta clean these brushes because there's definitely stuff on them, just not a lot. So I rinse these off, and because it's super hot out, they're bone dry before I finish the job and head to my next one, so it's nice and clean for the next house. Don't forget, little things are going to set you apart from others, and clients do notice it. Putting blankets down on hard surfaces so you don't get footprints and stuff on there. Corner guards on every major side here. Where does this one? I'm going to start right here, because once I back up to get to this room, it's going to hit that corner, and then I'll switch it over to here. But see, I got the main corner here, the main corner there, and then I have one for up here from when I back out to get to this position, and you can see my blankets at the entry of each spot on top of the tile, so I have something to wipe my feet on before I get onto the tile. Pop-up door keeps the house relatively closed off, so the door can be open and my hoses can go under it. This people love. This is probably one of the best investments, extras you can get. So in most cases you can still see outside, see your stuff without having to go outside. Blocks their home off. I left my pre-spray here because I'm not sure if I'll get to this room before it dries out, and I fully understood that. Even though I CRB'd, I can always reapply a little bit of pre-spray to reactivate it. This is one of the rooms, this is the room that I smelt first when I walked in the house, so that's why I wanted to treat it in CRB at first, and then I purposely left this out in case I need to reapply it. Alright, so I am in the living room. Bear with me, I'm cleaning left-handed right now. Been going kind of slow. Took a break because even with the AC on in this house, it's still lingering around 80 degrees in the home. And it was 85 in it before I even started. So I've been taking water breaks and making sure I stay hydrated. So I did not film me rinsing the master bedroom or the other bedrooms. So in this case also, here's another thing to consider. Since the carpet has been cleaned already and it's not terrible, as we saw what was pulled out with vacuuming and with what was still left under the CRB, I am doing a reduced PSI on the machine. Usually I clean with around 450, 500. I am doing right around 375, maybe 400, because it really doesn't need a whole lot. Now if it was ridiculous and whoever did it really blew through the job and it was older carpet and not barely a year old, then I would do everything normal, a little bit higher pressure, etc. But in this case, I reduced it a little bit because there's not a whole lot I need to do as far as extraction goes. And that'll help with the dry time some too. bit of a workout when you are right-handed. And I'm at a point where I was able to reduce one of my vacuum lines off, so the suction is just about maxed out. Part of the other reason why I'm cleaning left-handed, if you're wondering, is it's super hot, and for whatever reason my left hand is a little shaky right now. Like I said, I've been drinking a bunch of water, and I'm using these electrolyte mix things because they help drastically during these hot days. If I was just to drink regular water, I'd probably be a little messy right now and not be kind of struggling to get through, considering this house basically the AC's hardly working. It's gone down like 5 degrees, and the I don't know, 3+ hours I've been here. Probably 4 hours I've been here now. I mean, it looks great, but I mean, realistically, after walking over it, you know, that's not a huge transition, but it'll look nice when I'm done. Alright, living room is done. Tried to make it look as uniform as possible. You can see the tips of those triangles are touching the corners of each one, so that way this looks as nice as it can for the client. All I got left is the front room here, and then I'll be all set. So I was correct about not making it to the front room here before pre-spray dried out, so I re-wet it a little bit. If that happens, that's basically all you need to do. You don't have to spray heavily, but just enough to kind of reactivate what you put down.
All right, job is done. Last room is completed. Nice and uniform. So we're all set. Put my card on the table there, or the counter. Always leave their information, even if they've used it before. Because if he leaves it here for the tenant to see, then hopefully, they'll utilize our services as well. So, whoever made it through this entire video without skipping anything, you're a trooper. This is probably one of the longest videos I've done. More because I wanted to talk about the work and what I was doing and why I was doing it, and my conversations that I had with the client, and showing him why I needed to do what I needed to do. That way they see and understand that I'm not just trying to sell them on doing the entire job over again, but that there was an actual need and stuff was pulling out. And the true test, I'm curious to see what's in the filter. So I will do a filter review, and then if I'm able, because I still have another job, but I'm meeting Ray at it, so hopefully we could just use his van, but I am hoping I'll be able to do a dirty water dump so we can see what was in this job. All right, let's take a look inside the filter. Oh man, it's actually a little bit more than I was expecting. Not a ton, but pretty dirty. Allegedly, this carpet was already cleaned, and this is what I got out.